Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of HCAM Sports Talk. Tom Nappy here. In just a moment, we'll be joined by Andy Barron and Jared Keene. But first, here are the latest Hiller happenings, including a recent interview we did with Hopkinton Hiller's girls varsity head basketball coach, Mike Greco. Hello, everybody. Tom Nappy here, and we are joined by head coach of the Hopkinton Hiller's girls varsity basketball team, Mike Greco. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for coming on the show today. Your team having a terrific season. Most of the roster is returnees from last year. And after a 4-16 season last year, you guys have started off 6-2. How are you feeling about this team, and what's it been like to work with this group?
Feeling great about them. Obviously we didn't get as many wins as we were hoping for last year. But I think that the group that returned grew up a lot last year. Some of those lessons that you just kind of have to learn by going through, adjusting to the speed of the varsity game. A lot of those kids, the previous year weren't necessarily earning a ton of minutes. And they were kind of thrust into major roles and, sort of had to adjust to that on the fly. And this year, they've hit the ground running. We are experienced. Everybody there has got, significant varsity minutes in the past, and it's kind of made the jump to, the physicality and the speed of the game. And so, we got low numbers, but we are excited to be there every day. And it's been a lot of fun to work with this group.
And it must make you feel good as a coach to see such improvement in these players.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. The difference in chemistry, I think, has been off the charts. That they're really buying into the we over me attitude of team first, and they're playing great basketball together right now.
And Coach, tonight you will be taking on the number one ranked in D3 Medway Mustangs. The Hopkinton girls, they're ranked number 8 in Division II. And it's always a close game, it seems, when Medway and Hopkinton meet up on the basketball courts, whether it's on the boys' side or the girls' side. But Medway has gotten the best of Hopkinton in the last 6 girls' meetings. They're all close games, but Medway, they're on a 6-game winning streak. Do you think you guys are going to break that tonight?
We're going to try real hard. It should be a good game. Medway's obviously a very good program. They've been, up at the top of the D3 power rankings for several years now. They've had some very, very good teams over the years. They've certainly had our number lately. Hopefully we can change that tonight.
Absolutely. And this year's captains bring some good experience to the table. Elena Davies, Bethel Flanagan, Kate Finnegan, and Caroline Keene. Can you talk a bit about what it's been like to work with them and their leadership on the team this year?
Yeah, the 4 seniors have been they've been fantastic. They've been great captains. They all have their own sort of different leadership styles. Some are more vocal, some lead more by example. But they complement each other well. They're just as close off the court as they are on it. They really do a great job of setting the tone and sort of being ambassadors of that we over me culture that we've really established this season. It's been I've had most of them for the last 3 seasons, and I can't believe that's coming to an end in a month or so. But we really enjoy having them.
Well, hopefully there'll be a nice long playoff run for them too, but we still got a lot more season to go. Is there any particular player on the team that has especially surprised you with how much they have improved?
Yeah, the one that comes to mind is our point guard, Elena Davies. She was, a big contributor for us last year, but the difference in her game between last year and this year in doing all the little things, all the intangibles, she has shown so much poise, playing the point for us, handling pressure from other teams, getting us organized. She's really, transformed herself into one of those players that we just almost never want to take her off the floor.
Yeah, she has been terrific this season. And you got a couple of great sophomores on the team, Tegan Restaghini and Sophia Whitman-Kraus. Can you talk about the performance of those two? They've played some big roles in many of these games this season.
Yeah, they've been great. Tegan, is a talented offensive player that has really excelled in getting to the rim. She works on her game tirelessly. She's always the one staying after practice to shoot. She's what you'd call a real basketball key that just loves the game and works on it all the time. And I think she made the jump last year from playing 8th grade basketball to varsity pretty successfully, and her game just continued to grow. And she's obviously been a big part of our success this season as our leading scorer and one of our leading rebounders. And Sophia is just a tremendous athlete. She's another kid that just loves basketball. She works on it all the time in the off season. She's really developed solid footwork in the post. And I think that just based on, her work ethic and her athleticism, the potential she has to grow as a basketball player is huge.
Yeah, this program seems every year they're finding great young players. How's the JV team looking this year? I've caught some glimpses of their games, and they've picked up a few impressive wins. How are they doing?
Yeah, they're playing super hard. They look like they're having a ton of fun with Coach Pucci and Coach Gallagher down there. They just picked up a big overtime win, great overtime win against Dover, which was a tremendous game. But even in the games that they've come up on the short end, they're playing extremely hard and working hard through everything they do.
And Coach, the team, they took home the Mary Corby Holiday Tournament title this year. A very impressive title to win. You got 3 other tough teams fighting for it: Algonquin, Milford, and Westboro. Can you talk about that accomplishment? And can you explain the Mary Corby Tournament for those that don't know a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was that win meant a lot to us and to our program. The Mary Corby Invitational Tournament is designed as a fundraiser for the Mary Corby Memorial Scholarship. Anybody who's not familiar with Mary Corby, she was the mother of Callie Corby, who played for me my first couple of years taking over the girls' varsity job. Her son Cooper played for me when I was coaching the boys JV team and helping out the boys varsity team. And her oldest daughter, Michaela, I actually had in class years ago. So I've known them for a long time. And Mary was a tremendous coach, huge influence on Hopkinton basketball at all levels. Was one of those players and coaches that, always emphasized the importance of being a great teammate, being a leader, being selfless, hard work. And so, we felt that when the opportunity arose for us to have a home holiday tournament, over the winter break, that, there was really no other, fund or scholarship or charity that we felt was more fitting based on her influence in Hopkins basketball and, my personal ties, to the Corby family. And so it's really turned into a really nice event. Callie is now our 8th grade coach. She graduated here in 2018. Every year that we run it, the whole Corby family comes back and they run concessions and they do a 50-50 raffle. And it's been a really nice way to fundraise for that scholarship that every year goes out to graduating Hopkinton senior athletes that sort of exemplify the ideals that Mary was so well known for.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations to you and the team on winning that tournament. And lastly, Coach, I have to ask, since you're a coach, what's your thoughts on the departure of Coach Bill Belichick from the
Man,
Patriots?
bittersweet, I think. I really wanted to see him beat Shula's record in the Patriot, on the Patriot sideline there. At the same time, it seems that they were both in agreement, and it was, one of the rare, true mutual parting of ways there. I just saw this morning that, Gerard Mayo is picking up the reins, and so I'm excited to see what he can bring. I'm looking forward to the draft in April, see what we do with that number 3 pick.
And I believe he's going to be the youngest coach in the NFL now, so that should be it.
He is. But I'll root for for Coach Belichick anywhere he goes, until he pays the Patriots.
Absolutely. I think most Patriots, when Brady went to the Buccaneers, they were kind of rooting for the Buccaneers as well. I know I was.
Same way.
And I think it'll be the same with Belichick. But, Coach, we wish you the best of luck tonight in Medway. We wish we could be there, but we'll be covering the boys' game, but we'll certainly be keeping an eye on how you guys do, and we look forward to catching up with you guys next week. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thanks again for having me.
On Tuesday, January 9th, Hiller Swimming hosted Dedham. Maureen and John Belger were on the call.
Nice. 5.5. And did you hear the second score? 5.5, 5.5. Six and 1/2, 6 for Eve. Very nice. All right. Come on, Maya. All right, very nice. Finishing strong. Come on, Natalie. Come on, Caleb. All right, so Caleb is a senior, as we said, and a captain. Jack Kelly is a junior, and Samartha is a freshman here on the team. Nice swim by Caleb Burke.
The Hiller boys took the 82-41 victory, grabbing their first win of the season. They are now 1-3. Hiller girls fell to Dedham 78-97. Hiller girls are now 2-2 on the season. Also that Tuesday, Hiller girls basketball hosted Dover Sherborne. Steve Spector and myself were on the call. It was a 9-6 Hiller lead heading into the second quarter.
Here's Paharic. Davies now. Gets it out to Flanagan down the lane. Past the defender. Count it.
Tough one. Left-handed. On the change of possession down here, they are always looking for a double and a trap, and they've had a handful of
Hills for 3.
Oof.
Yes. Erica Hills knocks it down. And we're knotted up at 15 apiece.
Good game.
Up for 3 is Restaghini. That's no good. Ends up in the arms of Paharic.
Yes.
Down the lane. Yes.
Big one. And that'll do it.
Good finish for the Hillers.
Another back and forth quarter. Hillers led it 21-17 heading into the third quarter.
Certainly is. And you'd expect a timeout relatively soon if this Hiller momentum keeps up. And it will keep up in a big way. Finnegan with her second bucket of the third quarter. Hills with it. Gets it over to Leah Hills. Now coming in from the corner, stripped away.
There it is.
Hillers have it. Davies feeds it to Restaghini. Restaghini to the rack, up and in with the left hand. She goes.
Big hoop. Big hoop.
Hillers outscored Dover Sherborne in the third quarter, 14-2. Dominant defense and good shooting would propel the Hillers to grab the win over Dover Sherborne, 42-28. Hillers improved to 7-2 with the win. The Hillers followed up with a 51-36 road loss against a tough Medway team and currently stand at 7-3 overall. On Wednesday, January 10th, Hiller Wrestling hosted Norton in their Senior Day match. Here's a look. Norton ended up winning a very good battle, 40-42. Hiller Wrestling is now 1-3 on the season and has a number of big tournaments coming up. Congratulations to the seniors. Also that Wednesday, Hiller Boys Hockey hosted a very young Bellingham team, and the Hillers got things going early.
Now it's working. Gervais has it, able to send it out, but sends it to Merkel, who puts it in, and the Hillers strike back. Into the neutral zone is Merkel. Here comes Hayward. Hayward racing in towards the net, backhands it, 5-hole, goal Hillers! Here comes Resnick. Sends it over, Ian Tosca with a backhander. And that is going to be another goal. Whitey and Tosca backhands it in. Where it's out, Merkel slices it up the ice to Adams. He has a breakaway. Closing in, backhander, he pops it in. What a beauty from Jake Adams.
Hillers outscore Bellingham 4-1 in the first period and take the game by a final of 10-2. Hiller Boys also followed up with a 3-2 road win over Norton and currently stand at 7 wins, 1 loss, and 2 ties on the season. On Thursday, January 11th, Hiller Alpine Ski participated in their first meet of the year. Here's a look.
Time for bid number 1012. Sophia White, 33.96 on the red course. Number 812, Lucy Graham from Hopkinton. Time for number 415, Nikita Metcalf, 27.76 on the blue course. Number 113, Scott Cronin from St. John's.
For the Hillers on the girls' side, Annalie Krantz finished 3rd place, Lucy Mado finished 11th, and Lila Mado finished 13th place. On the boys' side, J.B. Flynn finished 11th place, Barry O'Brien finished 15th, and Patrick Meehan finished 24th. On Friday, January 12th, the 5-2 Hiller Boys basketball team battled the 4-4 Medway Mustangs in a cross-TVL matchup.
With a pair of defenders on him, having a little trouble, gets it away, ball knocked away, and a turnover for the Hillers. Pantera to the rack, count it. And Ellie taking it up over to Marcinowski. Back to the wing, long 3, Pantera, yes! Sam Pantera knocking down his 2nd 3 of the game.
The Hillers outscored Medway in a backhand 4th first quarter, 17-15.
Iannelli behind the back dribble. Feeds it to Willitson. Now Pantera along the corner, drives baseline. Great feed to Del Ponte, who lays it in off the fingertips. Iannelli over to Dedejian.
Down the lane, feeds it over, up, and no good there. Grabs the rebound, Marcinowski for the putback. That's no good. Batted in the air, and Pantera puts it back up, no good. Puts it up a third time, no good. Hillers still have it as it's collected by Cho. Dedeja driving in for the jumper, and they get the bucket. Wow!
Another back-end fourth quarter. In the second frame, Hillers outscored Medway 15-11 and led 32-26 heading into the second half.
Really a little bit more of a defensive affair, as you would expect from a good defending team like Medway. Del Ponte for three. Count it! Kept in play, but the Hillers collect. It was good hustle by Parlin, but no one there for Medway. Iannelli knocks down a three!
Hillers open it up in the third quarter and outscore Medway 21-14. Heading into the fourth quarter, it was a 53-40 Hiller lead, and that would prove to be too much for Medway to overcome as the Hillers took the win 72-56. The Hiller boys improved to 6-2 on the season, and a big congratulations to Hopkinton Hillers boys basketball head coach Tom Keene, who earned his 300th career win with the victory, a tremendous accomplishment by Coach Keene. On Saturday, January 13th, Hillers Dover Sherborne Girls Co-op Hockey hosted Ursuline Academy. The Hillers fell early 1-0, but came back in a big way.
Approaching out in front, backhander, and it is put in. Barroso on the third attempt, able to backhand it in glove side. Sent out by Bent. Here come the Hillers. Lucy Jean is going to get it over to Barroso, and Barroso chips it in. Just a beauty of a feed. Perdoni flying up the ice. Approaching, backhander, count it! Reese Perdoni! Reese Perdoni out of Dover Sherborne, flew right up the far side, gets in front of the net, backhands it 5-hole. A 3-1 Hiller lead.
The Hillers strike for 3 goals in the first period and took a 3-1 lead heading into the second period.
Matched up with Zarcy. Zarcy comes away with it, sends it over to Clifford. Clifford takes a shot and puts it in.
Ursuline Academy gets one back, and it's a 3-2 Hopkinton DS lead heading into the third period.
Along the far side, here she goes. Flying up the ice, towards the net, takes it, yes! Lucy Jean gets the breakaway and puts it in.
Lucy Jean strikes with the finisher, and Hopkinton Dover Sherborne picks up the 4-2 win. Hillers collect their first win of the season and now stand at 1-9-1 overall. Congratulations to first-year head coach Ron Chin on his first career win at the helm.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into this segment of HCAM Sports Talk. For those that don't know, I'm Tom Nappy, and joining us on the show, we have Andy Barron and Jared Keene. Guys, how are you?
Good, Tom. How are you? Hey, Jared.
Doing good, guys. Doing good.
Doing fantastic. All right. Well, believe it or not, it's already NFL playoffs. We had the wild card weekend last week, some wild games, some unexpected upsets, you might say. And we all did pretty good pick-wise. Let's see. I ended up going 4-2. Jared, you were perfect until that last game between Philly and Tampa.
Brutal.
You went 5-1. And let's see, Andy, you went 3-3, so you broke even. And let's see, Steve, he went 4-2, and Mike he went 3-3 as well. All right, so we have a point system going on. We've been tracking our picks all season, and for the playoff games, we're doing 1.5 points. So with that, the current standings, I'm in first at 176.5 points. Jared's 4 points behind at 172.5. Mike is tied with Jared at 172.5. Steve is at 163, and Andy has some work to do. He's at 161.5. But
Tom,
guys,
last night was huge. Last night was huge.
Yes.
Now
Before we get
instead
in,
of 4, it could be what? I could be on 174, and I could be 1 instead of 4 right now.
You could, yeah. Well, you're not fourth. You're tied for second. So
No. I'm saying 4 points behind, and I could be 1 point
Right.
behind instead of 4 points behind.
that's right. That's the way it works. You got to get these picks right. It's playoff time. It's
After Buffalo won yesterday, I knew I was 5-0, and I just had this sick feeling that Philly was going to come out and lay an egg, and it's exactly what happened. They could not do anything last night. Credit to Tampa. I mean, again, credit to Tampa's D. They took Philly out of everything. I know no AJ Brown, was tough, but credit to Tampa. And but yeah, I just had the sick feeling that was going to finish off a 6-0 weekend, and sure enough, it absolutely steamrolled last night.
Well, I'll tell you what, I had no idea that Tampa was going to absolutely dominate Philly. Now, what I did say last week is Philly has not looked good for the last 5-6 weeks, and they were heading into the playoffs pretty much what would be the opposite of white hot, ice cold, I guess. Yep. They just haven't looked good, and they were heading into the playoffs at the wrong time. They picked the wrong time not to look good. They picked the wrong time to hire Matt Patricia. And I just had a bad feeling. I just didn't think that Philly had any momentum going for them. And Tampa did. Tampa was actually getting pretty hot at the time towards the end of the season. They didn't have the most entertaining game to end the season, but they did beat Carolina 9-0. Good defensive performance, at least.
That game was atrocious. That game was brutal.
Yes. But a win's a win,
oh, man,
as they say. But Philly, I think Philly fans should be pretty disappointed. And that brings me to my next question. What's the most shocking thing that happened last week for you guys? Let's see, Andy, I guess we could start with you. What's the most shocking thing that you saw in these games last week, or the thing that surprised you the most?
Just how Houston completely dominated Cleveland. The Browns were embarrassed in that game. They didn't even show up. I thought the Browns had a legit chance to maybe win the AFC, and you come out and play like that, just horrible. I mean, Joe Flacco, he was a nice story, but it just goes to show you that no, playoffs are a different game. This isn't the Joe Flacco from 10 years ago when he was with the Ravens and beat the Patriots. And I have to also say Philadelphia as well. Guys, I know I said on the show last week, Nick Sirianni can't coach this team next year. He's completely lost his team. They do not respect this coach. Jason Kelsey's retiring. The team flat out quit in that game. Hey, hats off to Tampa. They were tremendous in that game. And but you can't bring this guy back. It's over. I mean, they have to move on. That Eagles team completely collapsed towards the end of the season. They were 9-1 at one point. 9-1.
I think they were 10-1.
10-1. And then they lost to the 49ers, and that was it. They got punched in the mouth, and they never recovered from that. But that's and the other thing I want to say too is CJ Stroud is good. I mean, this Texans team, they are fun to watch. I mean, wow. D'Amico Ryans has done a great job. Great to see Detroit win. I thought the Rams put up a good fight. But overall, though, I mean, we knew Buffalo was going to win. We knew the Chiefs were going to win. The one question I have for you guys is, the Buffalo game got moved, rightfully so. I mean, the conditions up there were just beyond belief. I saw it on film. There was no way they could have played that game. But why wasn't the Dolphins-Chiefs game moved? That was extreme cold they played in. And a lot of people were not happy.
Yeah, no, I agree. I completely agree. Made for kind of a blah game. Not really a lot of excitement. A lot of dink and dunk, whatever. Obviously kind of KC controlled the game, but yeah, no, I agree. I completely agree. I don't know why it was moved.
I mean, it was hit. The field was frozen at
Yeah.
Arrowhead. It was just
You saw the play, everybody on the sidelines, like really just bundling up as much, like everything to try to.
Yeah, the Dolphins had no chance to win that game.
Zero.
The Chiefs, I don't think the Chiefs really played that well, but they weren't losing that game. It just
Right.
was. I mean,
Right.
that's
Again,
one
no
of the
excitement
coldest.
really, but yeah, the Chiefs were not losing that game.
That's one of the coldest games I've seen, probably since the Pats Titans in 2004, when that was just at
Yep.
Gillette. I don't know if you remember that. It was like an ice box out there.
It was indeed.
This
Well,
is
I
pretty
guess,
close.
if I wanted to play devil's advocate, football is played in weather. It's played in cold. It's played in extreme cold. It's played when it's extremely hot. In September, you got those 100-degree games in Florida. So I think the only way they're going to move it is if it's a situation that it's actually unsafe to travel to the stadium. In the case of Buffalo, 1,000.
That's fair. Just made for a blah football game. I don't know. I mean, again, you get a little bit more, maybe more excitement if you're in a little bit better conditions. But
Well, I think Tom did actually make a good point, because I don't think it was safe for people to be traveling on the roads.
oh no, definitely not.
I've sat in a game. I've sat in that stadium before in a snowstorm, and it is unlike anything you've ever seen. I mean, you could not even see the field. So it was a public safety issue, but I don't know. It just and the Bills' new stadium is going to still be open, so it's not like they're building a dome.
Yep.
I mean, they have to have the worst weather in the NFL. It has to be Buffalo.
But that's a benefit for them. They embrace
Sure.
it. And,
Oh, yeah.
It's worked out for them in a number of these playoff games, because it's really the coldest time of year in Buffalo when these playoffs are taking place. So they, get a team that maybe isn't used to these types of conditions. Pittsburgh is not one of those teams. They are used to these kinds of conditions as well. But, if they got like a Miami, like Kansas City did, or something like that, they get that same home field advantage. And I think they embrace that in Buffalo. And, I think the fans there, I think they enjoy the weather at those football games.
Oh, yeah.
They certainly embrace it.
I mean, there's nothing like Bills Mafia.
Shoveling
Bills
the snow
Mafia
with
is
no
one of a
shirts
kind.
on, and I mean, I think the whole city of Buffalo shoveled out the stadium. I mean,
Yep.
It was just buried in snow.
Oh, they were having snowball fights. It was pretty awesome to watch the fans. It was
Oh, yeah.
terrific. And then at one point, a snowball was thrown right in front of, I think it was a Pittsburgh guy trying to make a catch in the end zone and almost hit him. So
I
there
didn't
was
see
some
that.
craziness going on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, give the Buffalo fans some snow. Let's see how that goes. Things are going to get wild with that crazy Bills Mafia group. But that was probably, Buffalo-Pittsburgh ended up being one of the better games. Overall, these games weren't that great.
Josh Allen played a
Dallas
great game
just,
yesterday. Josh
didn't
Allen was
show
really
up.
good.
Say that again?
Oh, no, I was just saying Josh Allen played a great game yesterday.
Oh, he did. He did. That was
He looked good.
the early round playoff Josh Allen, I think we're used to. Pittsburgh had a comeback. They made it interesting towards the end, but Buffalo was able to hang on for the win. I guess what shocked me the most, I mean, I almost expected Philly not to show up. And, I joke about Matt Patricia and things like that, but really, ever since they promoted that guy, they've lost 6 of their last 7 games.
Yep.
He's defensive coordinator. Their defense was not as bad as it has been before they made Matt Patricia coordinator. So
They were giving
I
him
think
big
there's
chunks of
something
yards
there.
last night, big plays. Yeah.
Tampa was throwing all over him. Otten destroyed him. The
Otten
tight
played a
end
great
there,
game.
Kate Otten.
Yep.
But they were throwing all over him. They were having their way with him, especially in that first half. They were just unstoppable. I think, what was it?
And where's the
first 8
tackling?
drives,
Philly's
Tampa scored a
tackling was
touchdown?
atrocious. The tackling was brutal.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Absolutely brutal.
What's Matt Patricia teaching these guys? What's he teaching?
They could not tackle to save their lives. First on the David Moore TVD, then the one to Trey Palmer, where Bradbury absolutely whiffed on the tackle. Come on, man, really?
Yep. Yeah, they can't even tackle anymore.
This is just a team that just was not. They were not ready to play football, and
They were not.
it was so, again, I've just never seen a team that just literally fell apart so quickly as the
Yep.
Eagles did. That is a sign right there. And Troy Aikman kind of hinted to it in the broadcast that something's not right. I mean, something needs to change. And
Well,
you have to
Dallas
think,
fell apart pretty quickly.
oh yeah, what a win for Green Bay. Cowboys just can't win in the postseason. They're not equipped to win. They don't have the mental toughness. They don't have the coaching. It's not a talent problem. They can't. It's year after year after year, and I told this on this show that they are not equipped to win in the postseason, and it was
The
over.
way that game went, though, it raises the odds of Dallas calling up Belichick. It really does, because they want someone that has a reputation for greatness and winning in the postseason, because that's really the one thing that Dallas can't do. They could win during the season, no problem. They could clinch the division. They could clinch the 1 or 2 seed, but they can't win in the playoffs. So I'll be very surprised if who's their coach? Mike McCarthy? If he has a job coming up here. I don't think they've fired him yet, but I'm really surprised if they hold on to him, especially with all the great coaches that are available. But I gotta say, I guess it's pretty surprising. I think really when you look at what was the best game of the week, it was actually Rams Detroit.
Yeah.
That was the closest.
Yep.
By the way, my most surprising thing was that Packers win.
Say that again.
Sorry. No, I was just saying my most surprising thing was that Packers win. Packers absolutely dominated Dallas.
Yes.
And Dallas had been playing, like, that's the thing is, I wasn't really big on Dallas, but Dallas had been playing well. They were playing good football. Dak Prescott was playing good football. CeeDee Lamb was playing really good football. They were hitting on all cylinders. And Green Bay absolutely came in and went berserk. I don't
know what was with Dallas, but it looked like there was something going on with them. Like, especially CeeDee Lamb. He looked lost.
They all looked lost. They looked absolutely lost. Aaron Jones was running everywhere. Jordan Love is really good, by the way. Jordan Love is really playing some good football.
Green Bay
He's really
found their
improved.
guy.
He's got a great arm. He's making good throws. He's making good decisions with the ball. He was making big plays downfield yesterday too, or the other day. So, yeah, no, I mean that just the way Green Bay. I know it ended up being a little bit closer in the end, but Green Bay just really took it to Dallas, and that kind of surprised me. I know again, I haven't been big on Dallas, but just the way and the fashion that Green Bay absolutely dominated that game, similar to what Andy was saying about Cleveland and Houston. That was pretty stunning to me.
Yeah, I didn't expect Green Bay to put up how many points? 48? Was it 48?
48.
It was something ridiculous.
Just went insane.
It wasn't even that close. Dallas wasn't ready to play. They weren't. They did not take the Packers seriously.
It was almost 27-0 at halftime. But outside of a TD at the very last play of the first half.
Unbelievable.
Well, the Packers have found their guy. That Jordan Love's going to be there for the next 10 years.
Yep.
And I'll say this right now: Aaron Rodgers does not win that game for Green Bay yesterday.
No.
Jordan Love's the guy, and you know what? Credit Green Bay. They said we're done with you.
Wait, Aaron Rodgers against Dallas?
Nope. He doesn't win that game. No way.
Dallas didn't look good at all. Their defense was a mess.
But
I don't think Rodgers would lose that game. And plus, he owns Dallas in the playoffs. I disagree.
No. Jordan Love, what I like about the Packers was they said, you're not holding our team hostage. You're out of here. We're going with Jordan Love. And Aaron Rodgers is sitting home, and he's moving on. Great, phenomenal move, really.
Tore his knee up playing for the Jets fourth snap of the season.
Yeah, and I felt I'm sorry he did. I feel bad for that. I'm just saying. I mean, Jordan Love's a guy now. They have turned the page, and hopefully,
I think Jordan Love was good. Don't get me wrong. I think he was great in that game, but I think Dallas was more of a mess than Green Bay was good. Green Bay was good.
It was both. You have to give Green Bay credit, Tom. Green Bay was immense.
Oh, I do.
They came out. They had a plan. They ran the football. Jordan Love was getting the ball downfield. I mean, they cannot be discredited here.
Dallas was completely lost.
Because they weren't prepared.
I think any quarterback could have threw all over him that game. But Dallas did what they normally do. They go to the playoffs and they choke like crazy. So it's no surprise there. But all right, let's get into picking the games coming up in the divisional round. We got a couple Saturday games, couple Sunday games, 8 teams left in the NFL playoffs. It's getting really interesting now. Saturday at 4:30 is the first game next weekend. We got 4th seeded Houston at 1st seeded Baltimore. After watching Houston against Cleveland, I think they have potential. I think they're going to make this a game. I think this is going to be kind of a shootout type of game, especially if Houston brings that offense that they brought against Cleveland. But Baltimore's just been too good this season, too good of an all-around football team. And I think Baltimore is on a mission for sure this year. I take Baltimore in a close one to get the victory over Houston. Andy, who do you got?
I'm taking the Texans. Here's why. The Ravens are the Cowboys. Same thing. How many times has this team choked in the playoffs? Lamar Jackson has not proven he can win in the postseason. This is a different thing. This Texans team is hot. They have nothing to lose. They have a coach that believes in them. CJ Stroud is playing great right now. It's not going to be easy. They are going to pull this game out. I just do not believe in the Ravens.
All right. And I also want to add that Steve sent in his picks. He took Baltimore. Jared, who are you taking in Houston at Baltimore?
I've been back and forth on this one. I think this is one of the actually more difficult games to pick this weekend, especially for a lot of the reasons that Andy brought up. I am going to take Baltimore here, but I don't feel great about it. I could see the Texans winning this game. I can't go against Baltimore with the way they'd mostly been playing outside of one really bad hiccup. Again, would I be surprised if the Texans won? No, but I'm taking Baltimore here. I don't feel great about it, though.
All right, Baltimore it is. I think this will be a close one. If you get the Houston team that you had against Cleveland, they're going to battle, no doubt. If you get the Texans team that kind of ended the season in a rough patch, maybe not so.
The Ravens can do some things on defense as well to kind of make CJ Stroud uncomfortable. Bringing different blitz packages, dropping into coverage, showing different looks in coverage. So that could be a difference, but yeah, we'll see. Should be a really good game.
Yeah,
could be a really good game.
You have a rookie quarterback going. I agree. It's a tough place to play in Baltimore. I just really like the way how this Texans team is playing, and Baltimore just has not proven that they can win in the playoffs. And they've had a great year. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. This just
they won a couple
here
there in the first round. They haven't really gone far too much, but it's not like Dallas where they go to the first round and they're out. Baltimore does win in the first round from time to time and advances on. All right. Saturday at 8:15, we got 7th-seeded Green Bay at 1st-seeded San Francisco. A little surprised that both 1st-seed teams are the Saturday games, but okay. I'm after watching Green Bay, what they did to Dallas, they have a good offense. San Francisco could be very rocky sometimes. Their defense, though, one of the best in the league, no doubt. 49ers at home. With the way the season's gone with the 49ers and the fact that they're at home, I got to go 49ers here. Although I think Green Bay is going to make it a very close, uncomfortable game for the 49ers. But give me San Francisco in a very close one that goes down probably to the final seconds. Steve also has the 49ers. Jared, who do you got?
I also have the 49ers. The 49ers, again, have been maybe the best team in the league all year. Don't really have any weaknesses besides maybe the coach. But Brock Purdy's playing good football. Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in the league. Their defense is immense. Love this Packers team. Obviously, it felt good to pick them this past weekend against the Cowboys, but I don't see them getting by the 49ers. Could be really close, though. Could absolutely be really close.
All right, Andy.
As much as I want to take the Packers, I'm taking the 49ers. Listen, there's no comparison between the Cowboys and the 49ers. 49ers are just a better team. They're at home. Their defense is immense. Green Bay's not going to lie down. They're not going to quit. These two teams have had some great playoff matchups over the years. I just think this is going to be a really tough spot for the Packers. It's going to be a close one, but I'm going with San Francisco.
All right. San Francisco across the board. Watch us all be wrong. Sunday at 3:00, you have the 4th-seeded Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 3rd-seeded Detroit Lions, or should I say Jared's Lions. And Steve went with Detroit. Jared, who are you going with?
Is that even a question? Who am I going with? I mean, I've gone against Tampa Bay too many times. I can't go against Detroit here. Detroit's playing much better football than Philly was. Definitely has all their weapons. Obviously, Sam Laporta was back this past weekend, which is big. Again, yeah, Philly was without A.J. Brown last night. Not an excuse, but still, it's not like the Lions are without Amon-Ra St. Brown or anything. So I got to go with the Lions here. They're playing good football. Goff looks good. Weapons look good. They have two really good running backs to kind of bring different elements. Yeah, Baker, this is where it ends, buddy.
All right, Andy.
Going with the Lions. They're playing really well right now. I mean, Tampa Bay, got to give them a lot of credit. They've made the divisional round the year after Tom Brady retired. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Really, it really, really is. I think we got to take a moment to credit Todd Bowles and his staff because nobody expected this team to do anything this year. And Baker Mayfield's been good, but this is just they're going into a buzzsaw going into Detroit. First divisional playoff game there in over 30-something years. Crowd's going to be immense.
This would be loud there. They're going to be confident.
Yeah, this would be a disaster if the Lions lost this game. Like there's really no excuse. They're the better team, and but I do think Tampa will keep it close early, and I think the Lions are just going to pour it on in the second half.
All right,
Tom's going to the Bucks. Tom is definitely going to the Bucks here. He can't go against the Bucks. Baker's his boy.
I'm going with my boy Baker in the Bucks. I think they're going to get the upset, and the Lions' curse is going to come back. And after they lose to the Bucks, they will go back to being terrible. But give me the Bucks for a ginormous upset over the Lions. I'll tell you, I mean, the Lions, they beat the Rams. They beat a good Rams team, but they almost blew that game towards the end. I don't know. I just got a feeling about the Bucks for whatever reason. There's got to be one upset this week, right? So I think.
Can you imagine?
I think Bucks can get the job done.
Can you imagine if they go to the Super Bowl without Tom Brady? I mean, that would just be insane.
That would be insane.
That would be
absolute insanity.
Really,
then
because
all these comparisons of Baker Mayfield and Tom Brady.
Well, no. But I'm just saying though, it's like, yeah, the Bucks are playing well. I just think it's a tough spot for them. But I mean, the one thing is, man, if you are a Lions fan, you have to hold your breath like every single game. There's never a guarantee if you're a Lions fan.
And part of me is kind of hoping the Lions win this as well because I feel bad for their fan base because they've had no success at all in 30 years.
Oh, it's brutal.
So it would be cool to see a Lions home playoff win, especially for those fans that'll be there that have stuck by them all these painful years. But I don't know. I mean, I really liked what I saw out of Tampa last week. Obviously, they're on the road now, so it's a lot harder to win on the road. But I think this could be a close one, too. I think it will be a close one, closer than people think. The Lions, they looked very good in the first half against the Rams, and then kind of fell off in the second half, and they were a little shaky towards the end of the season. So what Lions team are you going to get? Are you going to get the one from, the first half of the Rams game, or are you going to get the one from Thanksgiving where they got crushed by Green Bay at home? So I guess we'll see. But
that Green Bay loss, though, looks less and less bad now, given that Green Bay is absolutely rolling right now, has gotten much better as the season went on.
Yeah, but Green Bay really, I mean, they had a great game on Thanksgiving, but they didn't fully find themselves yet because I think they went out, what was it, the next week and lost to someone bad, or a couple weeks later, didn't look great. I think Green Bay has found themselves now. I think they are very confident heading into that game with San Francisco. I just think the 49ers have too much on defense.
Lions
that
fans
brings-
are going to be loud, though, this weekend. That Lions fan base is going to be into it. They're going to be
Oh, yeah.
absolutely absurd. They're
Oh,
going to be
yeah.
That's
going
gonna be a fun
hard this weekend.
That will be a fun atmosphere indeed. All right, moving in to the final game of the weekend, Sunday, 6:30. Third-seeded Kansas City Chiefs, second-seeded Buffalo Bills. I'm torn on this one very much. Both teams have had their very shaky moments this season, but I'm going to go with second-seeded Buffalo. They're at home. The Chiefs have had problems all season with lack of offensive weapons. And I think the Bills really want some revenge. Give me the Bills in a very close game that probably goes down to the final seconds. Andy, who are you going with?
I'm taking the Chiefs, and here's why. I think it's going to be a very good game. This is the first road playoff game Patrick Mahomes has had to play in his career. But I can't really shake the Bill, and the Bills are still a little shaky to me. And is Gabe Davis out for the Bills? Or is
No,
he,
I think he was playing.
he was playing? Because I didn't hear his name much in the
I think his
Pittsburgh
just
game.
role has been diminished a little bit.
Okay.
What's his name? Khalil Shakir has been getting more time.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, he's been really good. It's tough for me to bet against Patrick Mahomes. And even though the Chiefs have not looked very good, they're still the defending Super Bowl champions. And the Bills, they've had some bad playoff losses. I mean, these last few years in the divisional round, they've not been good. They haven't been able to get the job done. Now they're at home. That's a huge advantage. But I think the Chiefs are going to pull this one out by a field goal.
All right, Jared.
I'm actually going with the Bills here, kind of for the opposite reason that Andy mentioned. I think the Bills D is going to get after Patrick Mahomes a bit, and I think Josh Allen is actually going to keep riding some momentum a little bit. Josh Allen played a great game yesterday. I think he goes in and plays another great game this weekend. Yeah, I don't know. I just got a good feeling that Bills are going to, get behind their fan base and do some work. Again, I don't know if it's going to be a blowout by any means, but I do like the Bills here.
By the way, one thing to keep in mind, I believe this is the first road game for Mahomes in the playoffs.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yep.
It's a
Ever
tough
had to play
spot.
road-
It's a tough place to play too, to have your first
yes.
road playoff game.
Yep.
I don't know. It's just the Bills, man. They're just another franchise that how much more losing can they really take? I mean, they've been knocking on the door for the last few years, and they just haven't been able to get it done. And I think time is not on their side right now. They're getting older, and it's now or never.
Oh,
really.
This is it. This might be like the final run before they have to break it all up and get some new guys in here. I mean, they've had some weapons emerge though, like Shakir, who you mentioned, and they've had some guys really emerge that you didn't expect, which is good. So it shows that they got more versatility than maybe we thought. And that goes back to this game too. The problem with the Chiefs is they've really only had one weapon emerge, and that's Rashee Rice. Besides that, they haven't had anything. And
They
against
can't
this
catch the
Bills
ball.
defense,
Outside of Rashee Rice, nobody can catch the ball.
right? I just don't know if they have enough this season, and you don't know what kind of performance you're going to get out of Travis Kelce. He made some big catches against Miami, I guess, but he hasn't looked great in these big games. So I'm hoping Taylor Swift and the Chiefs are knocked out of the postseason. And by the way, Jason Kelce retired today.
He did. Yep.
He did indeed.
Definitely will be in the Hall of Fame, no doubt about it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Great player, great career.
Yeah, one of the best centers really to ever play the game.
Him and Joe Thomas. Those are the two people that come to my mind with centers.
Agreed. Fully agree.
Yeah, fantastic career.
Absolutely. Well, believe it or not.
One thing I'll say about the Bills game as well, I'll be interested to see how the Chiefs D handles some of the Bills' weapons. Because if Gabe Davis does get it going, then they have him with Stephon Diggs, Shakir, who's making plays down the field. Plus, you got to account for Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid, who are two really good tight ends.
Yes.
So, I'll be interested to see how Spagnuolo's D handles that. But yeah,
should be another fun one over in Buffalo. But we are out of time for this segment of HCAM Sports Talk, but we will wrap it up with final thoughts. Andy, any final thoughts?
Well, just real briefly, guys. Belichick is gone. He's interviewing now with other teams, but where are the Patriots going here? Like they hired Gerard Mayo. I guess I'm not really surprised, and I hope the guy does well because I think he was a really good player here. But I just don't like what I'm seeing right now, and we got a long way to go before the draft. That's really going to tell us a lot, but it really just doesn't seem like there's any type of game plan
Did I
here
hear
right now.
correctly? They're not hiring a GM.
That is correct. They're not, which I don't.
Why?
Like that at all. No, I don't like it at all. It's just. Yep. I don't know, and some of the things that the Crafts have been saying about Belichick. Look, Bill had his flaws. Don't get me wrong. Okay, it was definitely time to move on, but the guy still brought us 6 Super Bowls here with Tom Brady. Okay, they don't win 6 titles without Bill. He's still a phenomenal coach. He's a Hall of Fame coach. I really don't. They haven't handled the Brady thing well. They didn't handle Bill well. What's going on here? Like, you can't have it both ways. Okay. And I'm really getting frustrated with this. Like, what are you doing?
And we'll certainly talk more about the whole Bill Belichick situation when we have, more time on the show. We don't have these playoff games we got to pick and stuff like that. But, with what the Patriots have done, it's really made me wonder, what decisions was Bill responsible for? What decisions were the Patriots responsible for?
Exactly.
Because what it seems like they're doing is they're trying to bring everybody back except Bill. And I didn't think that was going to be the plan. I thought it was time for a total regime change, but I don't like what they're doing over there at all. And not hiring a GM. Who's going to be the GM? Mayo? The guy is the youngest coach in the NFL, and you're going to throw the GM duties on him too? I don't like it. Not a fan. Jared, any final thoughts?
Oh man, final thoughts.
If you want to add on to the Pats conversation instead of a final thought, feel free.
No, I mean, again, it's insanity that they're not going to hire a GM before the draft. Like, that's one of the biggest things you need. I think the draft is extremely underrated. Obviously, it's an area where we haven't done particularly well, and we need to do well this year because we have the 3rd pick in the draft and need to hit a home run. If we don't hit a home run, that's considered a major failure. And you have to consider, like, what the heck? Really stupid. Just really, really dumb. I did see that the Saints cleaned house today offensively. Needed to be done. The Saints were atrocious this year offensively. They look bad. Outside of maybe getting Chris Olave the ball a little bit, what else are you doing? You're not getting the ball to Alvin Kamara a lot. You have weapons. Your QB play is not good. Pete Carmichael is out as offensive coordinator. A few other guys are out. Need to bring in some fresh minds offensively there. Get back to, doing what you do best and